Good morning, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sly Report, and today we are going to give you the news on One Piece, chapter 1105. So let's get into it. We open up this chapter with the lower ranking Marines fleeing for their lives as we get the announcement that the Buster Call is imminent. Prepare, make your preparations, get ready. We about to level this joint. So all these Marines are trying to rush off the island, get back to the ships before this whole place is just taken out. It's a crazy way to open the chapter, ain't it? But it only gets better. Let's keep going. We then cut over to the center of the island where all the action is happening. And we get Vice Admiral Dahl. She's talking to Kizaru and Saturn. She's like, all right, well, you guys need to evacuate. Let's get back to the ship, so we can start this leveling of this island, this Buster Call. And Saturn says this, like, nah, me and Kizaru are going to stay. And Dahl begins to protest, but she is stopped by Kizaru saying one word and one word only. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we'll find out later on, and if so, I'll correct myself. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only word Kizaru says this chapter. Is the GOAT. And Dahl looked, and she's like, all right, well, yes, sir, we out of here. And they split. We didn't get to the first part of the meat and potatoes of this chapter. And this is a conversation between Vegapunk, and he's talking to Saturn and Kizaru. And he's like, hey, man, like, I thought you were just after my life. Like, why are you destroying this island? If you destroy this island, you will set humanity back by 100 years, technology-wise. This is the cutting edge. Everything here is the cutting edge. Why are you doing this? I'm begging you to stop this. I'm begging you, Kizaru, stop this. And to this, Vegapunk, gets the answer from Saturn, and Saturn's like, nah. Like, you could be hiding something here that's even more dangerous to the world government that we don't know about. So, no. And honestly, we don't need any more advancements going on out here, all right? We don't need no more of that. That's Saturn's reply. And Vegapunk is going through it, man. He is going through it because he genuinely just wants to help the world. And he's like, what about humanity? And Saturn's like, actually, you know what? Humanity, that reminds me. You know that ship that left here yesterday? Yeah. I sent a warship after them. Because we can't take the chance that somebody on that ship might have some knowledge about the Void Century. And to this, Vegapunk is even more outraged. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Those are just regular scientific people. They just came here to study and learn about what they want to learn about unhindered. Like, there is nobody that knows anything other than me. They're innocent. Why are you going after them? And to this, Saturn replies, well, check this out, man. You dug their graves just like you was digging into the history of the Void Century. It's your curiosity that has signed all of their death warrants. Man, this nigga's a dick. Like, Vegapunk, he's throwing his life. He's like, bruh, just please let humanity have this knowledge. Please. And Saturn's like, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. And Vegapunk is distraught, bro. He's brought to his knees by this news, bro. He's like, bro, what is happening? We didn't get a brief scene of the edge, the outskirts of the island. Marines are getting on the ship. They're like, hey, yo, we out of here. Let's begin the bombardment as soon as possible. The pacifistas are getting ordered to stay on the island and help with that. And everybody else is out of there. We see some ships are already fully ready and on standby to start blasting this joint. Man, this is about to get hectic. But honestly, let's be real here. We don't die to Buster calls out here, bro. This is the Straw Hat crew. We're a Yonko crew now. Like, we was taking Buster calls back in the day, man. And for Robin, you'll see where she's at later on. For Robin, man, this ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. But we must continue. Now we get into the other meat and potatoes. The good stuff. We cut back to Sanji and his group. Atlas, Bonnie, Kuma, Frankie. And Sanji's ordering them to get to the vacuum rocket. He's like, get to the vacuum rocket, get back upstairs, and regroup with the others. Bonnie is like, okay, cool, but like, what about Vegapunk? And Sanji turns to her, he's like, I'm not gonna leave without the old man. I'm gonna bring him with me. So they heading toward the rocket. Sanji's heading back out in the field. As he's running back out in the field, he contacts Nami up on the Labo phase, and he's like, hey, what's the situation up there? And Nami's like, we got everybody back to the entrance, but it's kind of noisy down there. What's going on? And that's when Sanji drops the news that they about to have a Buster Call situation happening. And we get the Weakling Trio reaction to that, and it's funny. So Nami continues to report that, like, okay, but what about Luffy? Like, is he with you? Sanji's like, well, I lost track of him, and I'm sure he's gonna be all right. Just keep telling me what's going on up there. So Nami's like, well, Zoro is still off dealing with Lucci, and I sent Jinbei off to make sure that Zoro does not get lost. This is important to me because y'all need to understand, nobody is worried about Zoro being defeated, struggling, being pressed by Lucci at all. They are worried about this man getting lost more so than they are worried about him losing to Rob Lucci. Just want to get that out of the way. Also, she says, well, since, the Vega Force 1 was carrying the Sunny, and that was destroyed by Kizaru, Brook and Lilith went off to deal with that. So, we then see Brook and Lilith sliding the Sunny across these island clouds because Brook has used his powers to freeze the clouds so that they can move. And Lilith thinks this is genius. She's like, wow, you're pretty smart, Mr. Bone Man. And Brook is like, ha ha ho, yo ho ho. Thanks for the compliment, you know what I'm saying? All this other good stuff. And then she asks a question. She's like, so how do we stop when we get there? And Brook's like, honestly, I ain't think about that. She's like, what? And Brook is like, well, I'm sure you'll think of something. I'm all ears. This man, he's clutch, but still some of the best comedy I've ever seen comes out of Brook in his moments. I love it so much. So that's what's going on upstairs. That's the situation up there right now. We gonna keep that, where it is. But also up there with Nami is Edison, Usopp, and Robin, and Chopper. And Chopper he has Robin in this little cradle thing, rocking her back and forth. She's taking a nap because, she had to deal with the whole situation with York and all that other shit last night. So she was pretty banged up. She's recovering. But honestly, even if she was conscious for the fact that, there's about to be a Buster Call, I'm pretty sure she would feel comfortable sleeping anyway because this non-factor. Like, the crew is there. What's going to happen for real, So, but we must continue. We then briefly cut back to the Marines, and they're already, they are beginning the bombardment of Egghead. And the pacifistas are also included in this. They're just firing off. We then cut back to Vegapunk. And man, let me tell you, this man is he's distraught. He's watching everything he's built, everything he's created in these past 4 years or however many years it's been. I believe it's 4 since the creation, since he got to Egghead. And he's just like, man, all my hard work. It's truly a sad moment though, because it's a man who's really dedicated to science. He wants nothing more than the betterment of the world via science. And it's crazy that this is what His thirst for knowledge, his need to help his fellow man has gotten him. We then cut to Frankie and Atlas and them in the vacuum rocket, and they're on the way up. They're like, it's only going to take, Atlas like, it's only going to take a couple seconds, like a few seconds to get up there. But a few seconds is a few seconds too long, because we see Kizaru pulling out the light sword, and then he just zips on up there and wham, cuts him. He doesn't injure anybody, but he cuts the rocket up, and now everybody's in a free fall. Like, everybody is in a free fall. We see Sanji see what happened, and he's like, God dang it, Kizaru. So he has to turn around and rush back over there. He either may be going to save Bonnie and them, or, because he does say, I'm coming, Bonnie-chan, or he could be going to engage with Kizaru. We will find out. Stay tuned here. We will bring you the coverage of what is happening. We will find out whether Sanji is going to engage the Light Man or going to save these people. So, but we must continue. We then see Saturn, and he sees them falling, and he's like, how suitably ironic, as he orders all the Mark III pacifistas to take aim at Bonnie and Kuma and shoot them and kill them. And he's like, how suitably ironic that your father gave up his life so that you would live, just for his clones to be the ones that kill you. This man is evil. This man is evil. Oh, it's dastardly for real. Like, dastardly. We see Kuma, he grabs his daughter. The body of Kuma grabs his daughter to protect her as they're falling. As we see the Mark III pacifistas charging up their lasers, taking aim at the ones falling from the sky. Then we see Vegapunk, and Vegapunk thinking to himself, he's like, man, Bonnie, when I found out you were a pirate, I couldn't help but keep thinking about the worst case scenario. And that's that one of these clones that look just like your father would be the one to kill you. And here it is, right in front of my eyes, and I'm helpless. I can do nothing. Man, this man has been taking an emotional beating this chapter, like, for real. Like, he just wants to help humanity. He wants to protect this little girl. Like, he just wants to do so much good for the world, and he just keeps getting told no. Like, and everything he's invented is being taken and twisted to do something he doesn't want it to be done for. I mean, used for. It's really an emotional ass whooping. We then briefly cut to Luffy, and he is the only one not really fazed by what's happening right now. He's been found by some Marines over by the food machine, stuffed full. He can't even move. He done ate so much. But this is a positive, because this does mean that Luffy will be back quite soon, actually. I don't think these Marines are going to capture him. I don't think it's going to be a fucking problem at all, to be honest. Luffy's going to get out of this situation. It's not an issue. But that's the only time we see him in this chapter. And we still don't know where he got the food last chapter. We don't know how he got where he is this chapter. But that's neither here nor there. We'll find out. It's Luffy. That's the answer for real. But we then cut to this last scene, and it's the warship that was sent after the evacuees. We see it's been destroyed, they're sinking, and there's someone who's saying, we need to find a way to contact Admiral Kizaru. He needs to know. He needs to know that they are coming to Egghead. We don't see who they is. We don't know who they is. But my money is on the Grand Fleet. I've seen other people say some other things like the Rev or Cross Guild or the Kuja. But honestly, I believe it's the Grand Fleet. But we will see next chapter. And I will be here to give you the news, because that is where we end this chapter. Once again, I am your host, Gold D Ranks. Thanks for joining us on the Sly Report today. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more of this, The Sly Report. Thank you once again for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day.